Hey booktube, this is Kelly. Thank you so much for watching my channel, Books I'm Not Reading. So before we get to the books, we are going to get to books, don't worry, and mainly victober books. I wanted to thank all of you. I realized I hadn't kind of updated you guys about my parents. Earlier this month, my parents were both diagnosed with COVID. My dad was able to get an infusion, and my mom was able to get like a 5-day antiviral kind of medication, and they have since tested negative for COVID and are doing well. So I thank you all so much for your good wishes and thoughts and prayers, and I really, really appreciate that. This week is still, in spite of that, which is great news. I'm so glad, and I'm gonna get to go see them next weekend. I'm just really, really happy about that. But yeah, the world. Do you ever feel like the world is communicating something to you? This week, the message from the world was, you are a 3. And we could argue about whether that's like 3 based on a 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 5. You know, 1 is definitely more in the bottom half. The other one, to me, is more about like mediocrity, maybe. And I am betting that many of you sometimes experience that, and it could be different parts of your life. But yeah, like, you know, it was really painful for me to have this experience of being a 3. And I you know, I think there are a lot of reasons why this was communicated to me, and different ways that this was communicated to me. But it hurt. It hurt a lot. And then I started mentally talking to all of you, because I talk to you guys all the time. I know you don't know that, but when I'm riding a bike, or, you know, when I'm doing housework, whatever, I am talking to you guys. And yeah, I realized, I bet there's a lot of people on BookTube who, or Bookstagram for that matter, who feel like they're a 3. And the truth is, like, this community, my little community, at least for me, is maybe the most extraordinary community I've ever been a part of. You guys are so amazing. I love hearing from you. I love hearing your thoughts. I love hearing about the books you love, the books you hate. You know, your different reading habits, and I don't know, like approach to books, or approach to just life in general. Some of you I have come to know much more. I've come to know much more about your life than just the world of books. But I was especially thinking about people maybe that I've never heard from. And maybe that's why you're not commenting, is because you feel like you don't have anything worthwhile to say, which you do. You definitely do. You do have a voice here. And maybe you, yeah, maybe you feel like a 3, and so, yeah, you would hate to be disappointed by, you know, a booktuber's response or something like that. So I'm going to talk about some of the ways I've been coping with being a 3, and some books here. But I just want to let you know, like, you guys are extraordinary. You are not a 3. Do not believe that. And I really had to sit for a while this week and do some positive self-talk, and say, you know, no, I am not a 3. I'm not going to say I'm a 5, because, yeah, I'm just not. And again, I'm going on a 1 to 5 kind of scale, but, yeah, no, I am not a 3, and neither are you. So just your Saturday reminder, be kind to yourself. Okay, so again, as a result of the last week, I watched some movies. I just briefly wanted to share them with you. I rewatched Thor with Chris Hemsworth, Anthony Hopkins, Natalie Portman. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I love this movie. I have not kept up with like the whole comic book universe. I usually like the first one and then I sort of let it go from there. So, and then some new watches for me, which again, I am definitely like somebody who likes comfort movie watching and rewatches a lot of things. But I did, for the first time, see Cyrano starring Peter Dinklage, Haley Bennett. This is a retelling of Cyrano de Bergerac, and it was originally on stage, and then it was made into a movie. It's a musical, and the music, excuse me, is by The National, which I know about books, not music. So I don't know much about The National, but at first I was like, they're not really songs. Like they seem to just kind of, in the film, they seem to just kind of trickle into the story, and then they just sort of fade away, which at first I didn't really like, but I don't know, like one of the songs in particular I have been listening to a lot, or multiple times at least, let's say. And so I like the music has stayed with me more than I expected it to. Peter Dinklage and Haley Bennett they're both great. The big news, reading wise this week, is I finished Great Expectations, and I feel certain, you guys, I feel very, very confident that I DNF'd this book after volume 2 and never read the 3rd volume, so this is a new read, and so I still struggled with Pip, which I know some of you out there have the same struggle that I did. Jason told me that if I think Pip is, a bit of a milquetoast kind of character, just wait until I read Oliver Twist. But I also watched a film adaptation, which is one of the prompts for Victober this year, and I will link to the film adaptation that I watched. I have seen some films, some other adaptations. I've seen the modern retelling with Ethan Hawke and Gwyneth Paltrow, and then I've also seen the David Lean version. But I really, again, they clearly did not stay with me because, like I said, volume 3 is just like, had no idea what the rest of the story was. So, so in spite of Pip, I really, really liked this book. It's more of a 4.5 star but I just rounded up and gave it 5 stars because it feels to me a little bit like Bleak House. It's so well constructed and it's so tight, and I really feel like nothing or very little is wasted. Every character is woven into the intricacies of the story. The film adaptation that I watched, it stars Jeremy Irvine as Pip. Holiday Granger is Estella. She's so beautiful. I really like that actress. But Helena Bonham Carter is Miss Havisham. And I just thought that was like genius casting. But she's really not as crazy in the film as Miss Havisham is in the book, which surprised me because, I mean, who does crazy better than Helena Bonham Carter? So that was a little disappointing. The late, wonderful Robbie Coltrane plays Jaggers, which I think was an interesting casting choice. Again, I'm not totally sure that it worked. So I'm hoping sometime in the near future to watch one. I can't remember who all is in it except that Gillian Anderson plays Miss Havisham, so I'd like to see what that's like. But anyway, so yeah, the book is just, it was just so tight when I finished it that I really felt like I had to put it up there. It is kind of a toss-up between this one and David Copperfield for me. I mean, they're just really, I mean, they're both very similar in some ways. It's kind of coming-of-age story. But there is something about Great Expectations that feels different from other Dickens novels. Am I crazy? Like, do you guys feel this or no? Like, let me know in the comment section. I really like the ambiguous kind of nature of the ending. I don't know, there's just something about it. It feels different to me, and that's maybe what sets it apart, I guess, from some other Dickens novels. It's definitely not my favorite. It's not my favorite Dickens novel, but it is excellent. And yeah, so I would love to hear your thoughts about Great Expectations. This is a buddy read I'm doing with Jordan Parsons. Jordan, I hope you've been able to find some more reading time. I know you've been really busy, but I still look forward to hearing from you, Jordan, about what you think about Great Expectations. So anyway, so I did read something for victober. I've started some other things. So I am finally reading, you guys. Dr. Thorne by Anthony Trollope. If you haven't read Trollope, I just really want to encourage you to give him a shot. Like, I know his books, they're chunky. But it's so good. It's so good. I've only read, I think, like the first, I am 50 pages in. Because every night this week I could read like 3 pages and then I was just exhausted and I just couldn't stay awake. So, but some of the writing and just the way Trollope talks to his readers, I just absolutely love it. I'm just gonna read you the very, very beginning of chapter 2. Promise. I mean, I haven't read it all, so there's not anything spoilery in this. As Dr. Thorne is our hero, or I should rather say my hero, a privilege of selecting for themselves in this respect being left to all my readers, and as Miss Mary Thorne is to be our heroine, a point on which no choice whatsoever is left to anyone, it is necessary that they shall be introduced and explained and described in a proper, formal manner. I quite feel that an apology is due for beginning a novel with 2 long, dull chapters full of description. I am perfectly aware of the danger of such a course. In doing so, I sin against the golden rule which requires us all to put our best foot foremost, the wisdom of which is fully recognized by novelists, myself among the number. It can hardly be expected that anyone will consent to go through with a fiction that offers so little allurement in its first pages, but twist it all as I will, I cannot do otherwise. I find that I cannot make poor Mr. Gresham hem and haw and turn himself uneasily in his armchair in a natural manner till I have said why he is uneasy. I cannot bring in my doctor speaking his mind freely among the bigwigs till I have explained that it is in accordance with his usual character to do so. This is unartistic on my part and shows a want of imagination as well as a want of skill. Whether or not I can atone for these faults by straightforward, simple, plain storytelling, that indeed is very doubtful. So anyway, so I'm loving this. I'm only 50 pages in. It's 557 pages long, at least my edition. So I'm really gonna have to invest more time in reading this. It's definitely going to bleed over into November, which is fine. I just hope I'm not still reading it on December 31st of this year. And hang it all, I am going to read a short story from Victorian times. I'm going to read some story from this book by Joseph Sheridan LeFanu, and I am going to read some poetry by Alfred Lord Tennyson. I promise. So hopefully that will be next week's update is about that, and I will also be shouting out new subscribers to my channel, including people with and without booktube channel. So booktube, I want to hear about how your Victober has been going, if you have any thoughts about the books I've talked about, and yeah, what has been captivating you this month, Victober or not Victober related, and I love engaging with you in the comment section because you are all such extraordinary people. If you don't feel comfortable leaving a comment in the comment section, that's okay. You can leave an emoji in the comment section, which some of you have taken up lately, which is great. Or you can give this video a thumbs up, and just so I know that you're here. I do appreciate that. Booktube, remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I will be back soon with another bookish video.